Prime real estate sitting vacant in the midst of a housing crisis. An empty Melbourne apartment block, a derelict commercial building in Sydney, and these boarded up terraces in one of the city's trendiest inner suburbs.
Unless a house is posing a risk to our community, there's very little local governments can do.
These houses have had the same owner for about 40 years, and neighbours say this is about the best condition they've been in for at least 2 decades.
I've been here for 25 years, since '99, and it's been like that. Actually, it's been worse than this since then.
They're not the only homes sitting empty.
Both the electricity data and the government records seem to suggest that about 1.3% of all residential dwellings in Australia are inactive. That's between 100 to 140,000 dwellings.
Figures captured in 2021 show high rates of vacant properties across regional Australia. But a surprising number of homes are empty in city centres, including more than 3% in Sydney and 5% in Melbourne.
The impacts of COVID-19 would have reduced the number of international people in the country using some of our dwellings, but also domestically potentially affected where people were staying, some people moving out of cities and some people moving into cities.
Some vacant buildings are waiting on development approvals.
It can take months, if not, in some cases, it can take years to get your approval through.
This building's had the same owner for about 3 decades. For a while it was a hostel, but as you can see, it's boarded up and empty. It's had at least 3 development applications lodged in the past decade, the latest earlier this year, but still, nothing has happened. Then there's the practice known as land banking.
I've seen other properties within about 500 metres of where we are now do just that, that they have sat vacant, underutilised, and ultimately the property owner sold the property for millions of dollars.
City of Sydney Councillor Linda Scott wants to stop this practice.
The state government could examine giving councils the power to charge higher rates for vacant properties.
Or state governments could follow Victoria's recent lead.
Victoria has introduced a vacant residential land tax, and it was designed to try to push properties back onto the residential market because of a shortage of housing.
Kathy Sherry says it's hardly unique.
San Francisco has introduced an empty property tax, Ireland has one, the United Kingdom has one, France, Spain. So vacant properties really are a problem worldwide.
But the real estate sector isn't on board.
I would certainly never advocate for any more taxes on property. It is the most taxed asset class in Australia.
There is an even more radical alternative. State governments could force owners of vacant properties to use them or lose them.
Contrary to popular belief, there actually is no constitutional protection for private property at state level in Australia. The state government absolutely can acquire land for any purpose it wants. It will pay compensation under the Just Terms Act.
Again, something that would be vociferously opposed by the property sector.
It becomes very difficult, I think, when the government starts to impose on somebody what they can and can't do with the property.
There's reluctance to interfere with anything that is seen as compromising people's ability to build wealth from residential property. The problem with that is when you build wealth, it always has to come from somewhere. It always has to be at somebody else's expense.
With property prices and rents soaring, millions of Australians are bearing the cost.